welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a whole bunch of fun things on the homestead. We are doing our first ever potato harvest. Very excited to go ahead and do this with you guys. This is my first year growing potatoes, but we'll talk more about that later. We are also going to go inside and do some meal prepping with some of these potatoes. My husband is going back on the road just for a week. By the time this video goes up, my husband will already be back home, but he is so sick of eating out. He asked if I could meal prep some things for him to kind of eat while he's out on the road. So we're making breakfast burritos and 2 different types of burger patties. And while I was doing all these things here on the homestead, my husband was off the homestead doing a fishing trip to help fill our freezers with some salmon and some trout. So we're gonna fillet those up, get those vacuum sealed, and put those bad boys in the freezer so that we can have them all winter long. So let's go ahead and hop in and start harvesting some potatoes.
I've been eating out of this bed slowly but surely over the last couple of weeks, but I pulled all of my shallots yesterday to get them in the shop to cure, and I figured we might as well do this bed of potatoes as well. I have 1 row of potatoes in here. This was an experiment I did earlier in the season, and then because this worked out so well, I did a fall planting of potatoes, a whole separate bed full of potatoes. Those are Adirondack blues and Adirondack reds in the other bed. This is some type of yellow variety. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I don't really remember. I had some ginormous potatoes out of this bed, so I'm excited to rip it all out. Yeah. Look at the baby potatoes. Well, that one's past prime, hey? That's a winner, hey? Are you gonna help dig? Do you wanna help dig for potatoes? Okay. Do you wanna put it in the basket? Good job.
I'm to harvesting these potatoes because I have never done this before. I didn't have any equipment or a potato fork or anything like that. I know that you can go in with your hands, so I really opted to just get in there and kind of pull back all of the straw and some of the weeds that had accumulated and just kind of get in there, see what we could find. You can see I have a very gracious helper here, and we are just going to harvest whatever we can find. I do go back in later with a shovel that I had. I know you can do that. I know that some people are going to say, oh, don't do that. You're going to increase your risk of hurting a potato or scoring a potato, and I definitely see that. However, I did not want to invest in any specialized equipment, this being the first time I've ever grown potatoes, because what if I decided I didn't like it or it wasn't worth it? So I just kind of wanted to wait. I do have a whole second bed full of a fall planting of potatoes. I think for that bed, I will probably invest in a potato fork, but we have been eating off of this bed for the last couple of months, so it's hard to gauge exactly what kind of yield I got off these potatoes, but I'm still very happy with this. I talked about this in a recent video. These potatoes taste so much better than a store-bought potato, which is really funny to me. I didn't think that it would have that big of a difference in it being a potato, but I guess it's really no different than any other farm fresh item. But it just surprised me, but I was very happy with the surprise. But we have eaten so many meals off of these potatoes. I would say we at least tripled the amount that we had in this little bucket here of a complete harvest. So I definitely got a pretty decent yield off of it, especially for it being, I think we only planted like 6 or 7 potatoes in this bed. So I'm really happy with it. I'm super excited to go in the fall box and dig all of those potatoes up, because we put probably, I don't know, 50 or 60 potatoes in that bed. So I'm very excited to go ahead and dig those up. But I'm really happy that I got this done. I really wanted to get out there bright and early and get it done, because we had a huge heat wave come in this weekend that I filmed this. So it was like 7:30 in the morning. I just wanted to go ahead and get out there, get everything pulled, and I'm very happy that I was able to get all of this done.
I have been eating out of this bed for about 2 months, so not too bad. I don't think I'm going to cure any of these. I think I'm just going to bring them inside, but not too shabby.
It's been pretty much a full day already. Baby's down for a nap. I'm going to be doing some meal prepping. My husband is about to go back on the road. He is going to be away from home for about 4 days, and he is so sick of eating out and takeout. He just misses home cooking, so he just kind of came to me and said, please, I don't care if you cook me the same thing every single day for 4 days in a row. I just want to eat home cooked meals. Like, he misses them so much. It is bringing him back to his army days when he was gone for months and months and months and months from home, and you first come home and you just like that really nice meal. I pulled out some meat out of the freezer. I have a breakfast sausage and 2 pounds of ground beef. He requested burger patties. He just wants me to press them, cook them for him, top them with cheese, and I'm going to top them with 2 different cheeses. That way he gets a little bit of a variety. And I'm going to be using some of those potatoes we harvested this morning with some of our farm fresh eggs and some breakfast sausage from a pig that we buy from our neighbors every year, and we are going to roll breakfast burritos. He did request breakfast burritos, so that's what we're going to do. So you're going to get my real life kitchen in the middle of preservation season. Between my husband and myself, we have cleaned this kitchen probably 40 times in the last 3 days. And I'm just gonna deal with it after I'm done cooking, because after this, my husband is currently right now on a salmon fishing trip in Lake Michigan, or on Lake Michigan rather. He'll be coming home hopefully with his limit. I have to fillet them, clean them, vacuum seal them, and do all those things. So I'm gonna hurry up and get my meal prepping done, hopefully get my kitchen cleaned and reset, pull out the vacuum sealer, the vacuum seal bags, scissors, Sharpies, all of that stuff, so that when he comes home it's just smooth sailing. We can just get right into filleting and plucking bones and all sorts of stuff. We might brine some for the smoker right away, who knows, but let's get to meal prepping because we've got a lot to do in a short amount of time. I'm hoping to rock everything out in the baby's nap time. Okay, I'm trying to clear a little bit of a workspace here. I'm going to start with my breakfast sausage and get this starting to cook down in my pan. That way this can be kind of cooking down while we press burger patties. I have shown you guys how I make breakfast burritos so many times here on this channel, but I went ahead and just washed off my potatoes really well, and we are going to go ahead and get these potatoes diced up. You can really leave these as big or as small as you want, but I'm just gonna go ahead and chop up these 2 potatoes and throw them in with our sausage that's cooking down. I like to cook it down in the sausage fat at the same time as the sausage. I think it just adds much more flavor. It makes it just that much more delicious. Once my potatoes are cooked and our sausage is cooked, I'm gonna throw in about a dozen eggs with your choosing of spices. My husband likes chives and celery salt, pepper. We like to keep it pretty basic because we really like the flavor of that sausage to shine through, because that is really the shining moment of these breakfast burritos. You can also do bacon if you wanted, or ham. You could do no meat. It really just depends on your preferences and maybe what you have in your freezers. Once our eggs are cooked, I like to throw in a good helping of cheese. We're from Wisconsin. We're not afraid of cheese. We love it here. So more cheese, the better. This is just a plain cheddar that I had in the freezer. And while those are cooking down, I wanted to go ahead and get my burger patties pressed. Same thing here. I just took out some ground beef from the freezer. This is a 2-pound package, and I'm going to throw in our basic seasonings that we like. And I'm going to make a little bit more of a variety for my husband by adding different types of cheeses that we have in the fridge. And we are making a mozzarella and pepperoni topped burger for like a pizza burger, and then we're going to put some pepper jack cheese on the other one, give them a little bit of spice, just trying to make them as different as I can. And these are all just cheeses that I had in the fridge. Like I said, we're from Wisconsin. We always have a good variety of cheeses in the freezer or in the fridge because we're a little bit of a cheese snob. I've never heard someone refer themselves as a cheese snob until somebody commented that they are also a cheese snob. So shout out to all of my fellow cheese snobs. But we're going ahead and getting these burger patties pressed. We're gonna get these in the pan, and then as those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and roll all of my breakfast burritos with just store-bought tortillas and we're going to wrap those in tin foil, and then I put those right in the fridge. I have frozen my breakfast burritos before. I do that all the time if you're looking to make them in bulk and freeze them. I just microwave them, or you can pull them out of the freezer the night before, pop them in the oven if you want, air fryer. There's lots of options, but man, oh man, are they delicious, and they taste just as good as if I just made them and I'm eating them fresh from out of the freezer. In my opinion, I think they freeze much better than breakfast sandwiches, but once again, that's really just my opinion. We went ahead and got everything packaged, absolutely everything wrapped, and I just put those in the fridge for my husband to be able to take with him. I also packaged up some cookies for him that the kids and I had made earlier in the day, just trying to get back into the habit of making sure that our homemade snack jars are filled heading into the school year, because my kids go back to school in a couple of days. So I want to make sure that I'm getting back into that mental space of making sure that I'm checking the homemade snack jars, making sure that they're really full, because during the summer, I don't think we go through as much of our homemade snacks because we're eating so much out of the garden. But heading into the school year and into the fall, those snack jars need to be filled pretty much all the time to be able to help keep our grocery budget down, because otherwise the kids will just annihilate through all of the store-bought snacks that I get, because I don't buy that many store-bought snacks. So just trying to make sure that I'm getting back into that mental headspace of making sure that those are filled, and it was just a really great additive to be able to throw some cookies into his lunchbox for him as well, so that he could have a couple cookies for himself while he was working on the road. I ended up coming home with a couple salmon fillets, a couple rainbow trout fillets, which I'm very excited about. I haven't had large rainbow trout fillets before, so I'm excited to cook these up. He did get more than this, but he stopped by a friend's house on the way through who was supposed to be out on the boat but had a little bit of a household emergency. A tree fell on his house kind of like the night before, and he woke up to a tree on his house, so he had to take care of that. So my husband stopped by on his way through and gave him and his wife a couple of the salmon fillets so that they could get some too, and we still ended up having a really nice stash that we vacuum sealed, picked bones from, and ended up getting in the freezer for winter use. So we are adding to our fish pile for the winter, which is super great because ideally we like to have fish about once a week. So we are getting closer and closer to really filling the freezer with a year's full of food. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope wherever you are, you're having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next one.